welcome back to the best division in football with your boys, Awthentik and The Beard, man. We got another jam-packed show, man. I got a good feeling about this one. I think this show is going to be a really solid show, man. We're coming off a lot of big news in the NFC East right now. Everybody knows Daniel Jones dealing with the neck injury right now. We don't know whether it's going to be him or Mike Glennon to get the start here for the New York Giants. We're going to be talking about everything NFC East on this show today. Y'all know what it is, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat one time. The NFC East is on the road this week. All four teams are going to be traveling this week. You got the Washington football team heading to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. Our New York Giants are going to be heading down south, down to Miami to take on the Dolphins. The Eagles are going to be back at MetLife Stadium for the second week in a row. I don't know what the schedule gods was doing this year. They really messed that one up. Back-to-back games are going to be taking on the Jets here at MetLife Stadium this Sunday. And tonight we got the Cowboys headed to New Orleans to take on the Saints, man. This is going to be an interesting week here in Week 13 of the NFC East, man. Without further ado, let me bring in the strong side to my left side. One time, the Beard left side.
Strong side.
What it do, my brother? I'm good. I'm good, man. No
man.
complaints.
I'm excited. We got football tonight. I think I got a couple of good roadmaps for these games lined up. Fantasy, it is crunch time. I literally have, put together some lineups, some showdown DraftKings lineups for tonight. And literally as you're getting ready to bring me in, it was Tony Jones has been ruled out for the Saints. So I don't know who's going to be the other running back there besides Mark Ingram today. So
yeah, I had homie's name a couple of shows
Montgomery
ago.
Maybe
over there.
Montgomery, is it Ty Montgomery? I guess will be taking running back snaps.
Nah, I don't know if he's still over there. Is he still over there?
No, he is. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's gonna probably be taking some running back snaps. So I have to make a quick adjustment to that lineup before that game kicks off. But yeah, man, I'm just ready for this weekend, man. It's been pretty crazy. Got a couple of things coming up, man. But I'm ready to talk some football. Let's say some what's up to the people in the chats.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
The building. I know I saw Roman was in here early today, so shout out to Roman. And then Jameson is in the building, throwing up some biceps. Shout out to everybody throwing them biceps in the chat already. Big shout out to Sunday, always holding us down. We appreciate you, faux show. Who else got in the building? Lucas checking in all the way from Australia. What's going on, Lucas?
Yes, sir. What's going on, Lucas? How you living, bro?
And my favorite GQ Esquire name in YouTube, Edward Squires, is in the building. What's going on, Edward?
What up? What up?
Good to see you. Marjorie, another one who's always holding us down in the chat. We appreciate you, Marjorie. Always breaking that news for us. Who else we got in the building?
The chat
Lax
already going crazy.
Fo is in the building.
Yes,
what up,
sir.
Lax? Good to see you, sir. No Mets, no Nets, no Jets. Shout out. In the building.
Yes, sir.
Joel is in the building. Says coffee.
What's up, Joel?
Check. M&M's. Check. 420. Check. Giants football. Check. Awthentik and The Beard. Check.
Let's get
Shout
it.
out to Joel. We appreciate you, sir. Shout out to everybody who's watching us right now. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. We appreciate it for sure. Who else we got in the building? Y'all was having some deep conversations in here. Shout out to
the
Kevin.
chat is on fire already.
Always holding down for a Washington football team in the building. We appreciate it. Undefeated November. Dang, sounds so good when you put it that way.
It does sound good. I'm a little jealous.
The Formula Fitness says over under Awthentik has a Daniel Jones rant.
Yeah, I'm going to take a push on that, actually.
I love it. Michael B is in the building. What's going on? And then, we got to show some love to the Cowboys fans in the building. Shout out to Monique.
Damn,
always
5
dropping,
stars, yo.
Always dropping her 5 stars. I don't know if the 5 stars is a review for Awthentik and The Beard or
I like that better.
We're going to go with that, right?
Yeah, I like that. That sounds really good.
G-Man John is in the building. Shout out G-Man John. We appreciate you.
Nation is in the
Big
building.
Big shout out to the homies over at Ref the District. We appreciate you stopping by. If you guys aren't subscribed to Ref the District, make sure you guys check them out. They are putting out always really, really good content covering the Washington football team. They also cover the Wizards, the Capitals, the Nationals. They always have really good guests from the opposing teams, people who cover the opposing teams of the Washington football game matchups. So definitely give them a follow on
Big shout out,
YouTube
Red
and on
District.
Twitter. Frank Corona Jr.
I'm glad you pulled that one up.
You guys ready for the Daniel Jones neck strain excuse after the game Sunday?
Yeah, we gonna see. We gonna see. We definitely
gonna
gonna see.
Hey, big shout out to Waterfly in the building as well. I actually ate chicken with asparagus today as well. So shout out to the chicken and asparagus dinner.
Little provolone action, okay.
Who else we got in the building? I saw Carl Wilkinson is in the building. Shout out to Carl. Appreciate you
Carl?
stopping by, sir. Who else we got? Shout out Lax044 for the $4.99 super chat. He's got a tough one here.
Little parlay vibes here. I like this.
Jalen Waddle, CeeDee Lamb, or Mark Ingram. I can flex too. Ooh, that is super tough. Look, I love Jalen Waddle and CeeDee Lamb and Mark Ingram. So this one is just, I don't know where to go. Mark Ingram is, you heard me talk. Mark Ingram is, going to be the guy. The only thing that's going to suck about, not necessarily suck, but something to keep your eye on is Taysom Hill. If and when the Saints get to the goal line, how many of those goal line touches is Taysom Hill going to take away from Mark Ingram? So, you got to hope that you're going to get points from Mark Ingram in other categories as opposed to touchdowns, because Taysom Hill is most likely going to be, running the ball in himself when they get around the goal line. CeeDee Lamb, I think, because Cooper is going to be I think Cooper might be on a snap count. So I'm going to lean towards CeeDee Lamb. I think Mark Ingram has a good game. I'm going to go CeeDee Lamb and Waddle. I was going to
go CeeDee Lamb, Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram is coming off back-to-back games of 100 all-purpose yards, over 100 all-purpose yards.
Yeah.
So I like him in that matchup. Jalen Waddle he's on fire right now. He's about to break that rookie record from, I want to say that's Chris Chambers, I want to say, who was the wide receiver, had the rookie record for Miami over there.
Chambers, wow.
He was a baller.
I haven't
Remember
heard
him, right?
that name in a long time.
Yeah, I got a couple little nuggets. So I go Waddle. You know what? No, I tell you what though. Look, this is why I go CeeDee Lamb. The matchup against the defense. I think that right now, New York Giants defense is playing some really good football. I'm going CeeDee Lamb, Mark Ingram.
Yeah, I look, I think you might be right. It's super tough. I mean, it's a coin flip. As long as you're in a PPR in this league, then you don't really have to worry about Mark Ingram, because Mark Ingram is going to get a lot of catches, so that will help you balance out the loss in touchdown points if Taysom Hill rushes the ball in a lot of times. So
yeah, and with the
go.
Taysom Hill thing, I would look for like Sean Payton to at least give Mark Ingram his opportunities when they're very close to the goal line. If you're talking about strictly like goal line offense, goal line packages, I think they'll start by running the ball first. I don't think they'll try to get too tricky on first down. So, he'll see most of his touches, I would think. And then if he can't get it in, then that's when you'll see Taysom Hill start to steal a little bit.
Got to give a big shout out to Trey Z, DMV Sports
DMV in the
3.
building.
That was like a bar right there. Trey Z, DMV Sports 3. is in
like
here. Washington football team fans with the beard. We appreciate it. Can't thank y'all enough for stopping by and checking out tonight's show. Like Awthentik said, we are jammed-packed show tonight.
Yeah,
but it's
going
to be fun. It's always fun. But no medals and trophies tonight, because we got Thursday night.
I forgot about that already. We do got that 8:20 kickoff though. That was solid though. You definitely you pulled something out your bag there for sure. You surprised me with that. I told you I thought it was gonna be like a signed Washington helmet or something. It was definitely not that. It was we went throwback vibes. What did I think that was Waterfly. It was like midlife crisis. He pulled out all the medals. That was a good show though, man.
The one part before we go, that was super funny was your reaction when OBX Picker mentioned Field Day of Ribbons.
Oh my God!
I was watching back the episode.
Leave your mind, like you completely I ain't forget about tug of war, nothing like that. But the ribbons, bro, I totally forgot about that. And I used to loaf and like not participate that much on Field Day. I don't know what I was a joker in elementary school for sure, man. I was running around doing some bad stuff. Me and Pat Nelson doing the craziest, doing the most, where I didn't even like really try to like get into the Field Day vibes like that.
Man, good stuff. All right, football time.
It's football time, man. It's football time. Shout out to the graphics department one time. You know what it is, man. Every show holding us down over here at Awthentik and The Beard, man. Let's get into this first one, man. Eagles at Jets, man. The Philadelphia Eagles will make their second trip up to MetLife Stadium in 8 days when they take on the New York Jets on Sunday. The Jets are a young, struggling, inexperienced team with all sorts of problems, but have somehow managed to win 3 games. That was very surprising when I was digging up some notes on the Jets, because outside of this, I'm never, ever focused in on anything that has to do with the Jets. Jalen Hurts is coming off his worst performance of the season, turning the ball over left and right against the New York Giants last week, and he's looking for a bounce-back game to keep the Eagles in this crazy NFC conference playoff hunt. I mean, things are looking really wild right now. The Beard, do you think that the Giants put out the roadmap on how to stop Jalen Hurts and the Eagles' rushing attack?
No, not at all. I think the Eagles pretty much put the roadmap out on themselves because they still ran the ball well. They ran the ball for over 200 yards plus against the Giants. But the thing is I think the timing of the run play selection was a little off.
Yeah.
They started out a little bit more pass heavy in the game. And I think when you're trying to establish a run game, it's super important to be establishing that run game early on. It's difficult too because you don't want to come out and run the ball 3 times and then go 3 and out. And a lot of times you do see teams do that. But I think with the Eagles, the turnovers killed them. I mean, and even with all the turnovers, they were still in the game. And, this game's probably going to come down to something like that, too, where they're going to have to protect the ball. But they're also going to need to force turnovers. I was looking at the turnover margin or whatever. I don't know what they refer to it technically. The turnover differential. The Eagles are only -1. The New York Jets are -15 in turnovers.
Worst in the league, I think.
I would imagine so.
I think it's worse in the
that's
league.
pretty bad. So, I went back and I tried to find it. The Jets are hurting too. I don't know if Corey Davis is going to play in this game. Michael Carter's obviously on IR, and it's unfortunate because Michael Carter had really solidified himself as the future running back for the Jets and had been playing really good football as of late.
Yeah.
Elijah Moore has come on recently. I mean, you can really see his big play capability, which I think is something that they're going to have to.
The interesting thing about him is when he had that 4-game streak with a touchdown in every game. And then Wilson comes back in the lineup, and the streak comes to an end. So, I heard Zach Wilson had said a quote in one of his press conferences or when he was talking to the media, and he said, I got to do better and play like how Mike White has been playing. And a lot of people took that and ran with that the wrong way. Like, you got your first-round quarterback talking about playing like some guy off the practice squad, which is kind of interesting. But I don't know, Zach Wilson, it's hard to gauge him because, skill set wise, he got that swag. He has the maneuvering and movements in the pocket that I kind of like, but he makes those critical mistakes. It's kind of like how you were talking about Taylor Heineke earlier on in the season. And I don't know if he gives them the best option to actually win games, or even if the Jets are actually trying to win games these days. I mean, they do got 3, but it's looking like they're going to have another top 10 draft pick this season again.
Multiple.
Are they? Multiple, right? We saw the draft pick. I think they were at 3. Was it 3 and 4?
Both of these teams.
Yeah.
The Eagles actually have 3 first-round picks.
The Eagles do got 3, don't they?
Yes, they do.
That's crazy.
Which will be very interesting. But, speaking of wins, the New York Jets have never beaten the Philadelphia Eagles.
Like ever.
Ever.
That's ridiculous.
I think they're 0-11 versus the Eagles in all-time history. So that's another thing that, is going to be on their back. But, look, the Jets' defense can surprisingly show up. And what's really interesting is that the games that they've won, their defense wasn't necessarily the reason why they won. They've been in some of these games where their defense has shown up, and I think a lot of that obviously has to do with the head coach. So I tried to find some things that the Jets do well, which took a while. I was looking at their wins, and I was just like, this win has absolutely nothing to do with this win, and absolutely nothing to do with this other win. So
different game plans.
Yeah, and it's like they beat the Titans, and in that game, Derrick Henry went for 130 plus yards. they beat the Bengals, and in that game, Joe Burrow, had like 3, 4 touchdowns or something like that. He had a critical mistake, obviously.
Yeah.
But so what I did notice was
That
that
one was the most surprising too. The Bengals
I
one. I
tell you
was
that
like,
knocked me out because the Bengals were on that crazy, crazy hot streak. That one knocked me out of my eliminator NFL pool where it's like you can only pick one team each, the entire season and to
yeah,
win. And if that team loses, then you're out. So they knocked me out on that one. But in the 3 wins that the Jets have had, okay, their third down defense has been one of their strong suits. So in the 3 wins, they held their opponents on third down conversion of 15 for 44. So, that's not, I mean, that's less than 50% conversion rate. So,
yeah.
if the Jets want to have a chance here, they're going to have to stop the Eagles on third down. And in red zone, their red zone, in the games that they've won, their opponents were 7 for 13 on red zone conversion rates. So obviously, like, those are 2 things that the Jets are going to have to, besides not turning the ball over 4 times in a game. But I mean, you just saw Jalen Hurts had his worst game of the season, and he turned the ball over. What was that? 3 interceptions?
Yeah,
and
3
then
interceptions.
Boston Scott with the fumble.
Yeah.
So the Eagles just need to get back to running the ball. The Jets' run defense is not very good, obviously. It's 128.7 yards per game the Jets are allowing. So, I mean, I expect the Eagles to probably go over 200 yards again in this
rushing.
game. Yeah.
And that's why I asked you about maybe the Giants put out the formula on them because, yeah, they rushed over 200, but what the Giants did on defense was they forced Jalen Hurts to throw the ball down the field and make those big, big mistakes. We talked about the drives and, the sequence of those drives on our last show, and I kind of want to pull that graphic back up because on some of those drives, the Eagles put up good yards. You look
like
at this
the one
here.
before the half, the 92-yard one.
The 92-yard that ends in interception should have got you 3 points, but punt, interception, turnover on downs, interception, touchdown, punt, fumble, turnover on downs. They had the 15-play drive, the 10-play drive, and another 10-play drive, and then an 8-play drive that ends on a turnover on downs, which you really should have caught the ball there with Jalen Reagor. He doesn't catch the ball, but that's why I'm asking. Like maybe that's the way to force the Eagles to lose. I also can't forget Jordan Howard. He wasn't in this game against the Giants, and how much of a factor is he in that running game to really keep it going? Because it did seem like at one point they were relying on Jalen Hurts to get first downs. On third and long, running RPOs or running read options.
Especially, yeah, the fourth quarter especially, it felt like Jalen Hurts got all the first downs in that fourth quarter. I mean, you don't really force them to make those throws. Like that's what was weird to me. It was like the game plan because like it's funny because before we went live, we were talking about how like at what point are you abandoning the run, like point differential?
Oh yeah, how many points?
You know what I'm saying? And it's like they were never in that range of point differential to where they had to throw the ball. I think it's something with Nick Sirianni because I read a quote where he was like, it's something I take very serious and I have a lot of pride in reference to them being 30th in the league in passing offense.
Oh, so yeah, I feel
so
you. Little pride.
So maybe
factor.
It's something like that where it's like, Sirianni
in this game versus
like
the Giants though, it was they were a little bit less balanced with the run, right? Like because they were coming into this game 3 straight games they had ran the ball 60% of the time.
60-40 you said, right? Yeah.
Right. Now in the Giants game it was 33 runs to 31 passes. Which is still, you still running the ball a good ton. But we, for those that watch the game, we do know, the Eagles were passing out of pocket, especially in the first half. And my whole thing is like when you put them up against maybe a Jets offense that can possibly put some points on the board. You talked about how looking at the 3 wins, they're all very different. You had the one win with Mike White where they put up like 30-plus points, but they also allowed like 30-plus points in that game as well. So if they can come out with an offense that can put up some points on the board, and, limit Jalen Hurts in the running game. I don't know if Jordan Howard's going to be back for this game, but, just allowing a team to kind of rush and then trying to play good third down defense like you're talking about and limit the Eagles to putting up points on the board, maybe you have a better chance than, not bailing out on the run.
For sure. And, it's interesting because Margie brings it up in the chat about Jalen Hurts' ankle because, he's technically questionable, although, like, I think he's going to play for sure. But it's just now how bad is that ankle? You know, because if the ankle is, worse than what we're being told, then that really takes away the RPO, the amount of times you run the RPO. So that
Yeah,
makes the Jordan Howard coming back to play even more important. And I think that just they like to take those deep shots down the field. And I
they
think
do.
what they need to do is focus more on that Goddard type of play. That middle of the field,
Yeah,
that sort of
intermediate
thing.
stuff.
Because if you notice, Jalen Hurts, a lot of times when, especially there's been a couple of plays that you and I were on the same page on watching him, he throws darts in the
Oh
middle
yeah,
of the field.
yeah.
It's
He'll
the
come up
sideline
short on those
stuff.
fly routes on the sideline. Those are the ones that he kind of struggles with. And I also feel like they don't have the wide receiver personnel over there to really throw up those kind of like 50-50 passes, and they will make the play. You saw a couple of interceptions from Jalen Hurts early on in the season where his wide receiver just bails him, wouldn't bail him out. Like literally just move out the way, try to undercut a deep pass and then be out of position, and now you're allowing the defender to get an interception easy. In the first 7 games for the Philadelphia Eagles, they ran so much read option and so much RPO, and it wasn't that effective. Now you look at when they started, these this streak of 200+ yard games here rushing the ball. They didn't do all RPO. That's where
No, no,
Jordan
no.
Howard became a big factor. You could just line them up and just run them, and that allowed Jalen Hurts to do different things. Maneuver in the pocket and maybe run for first downs himself on plays that aren't designed runs. You saw in the Giants game, they kind of had to get back to doing RPO and designed runs for Jalen Hurts, which for me, I don't think that's really the formula. You want to at least
No.
have that threat, like you're saying, like have a tight end out there that you could throw the ball to. So people got to get back out there in coverage. Your safety's got to do some things, and when the defense is back, is to Jalen Hurts, he can then tuck the ball and make some plays. But just trying to run RPO and run read option all day long, and then finally just trying to get the one-on-one, matchup on the outside and just throw it deep. That's not going to work with this receiver core that they got.
No, it's not. And they don't have like I don't really necessarily like to use this term as much now because I feel like it's the meaning of it has changed over time, but they don't really have a possession receiver.
Right.
Like Jalen Reagor, Quez Watkins, and Devonta Smith are all kind of very similar receivers. And then
All
they
of them.
have Goddard. So Goddard is technically kind of like their possession receiver, a guy that they can go to on third down, a guy that they can go to in the middle, things like that. So and this is a weird time of the season, right? Because I'm at this point now where it's like, okay, I want everybody to lose.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, that's it.
if I can't pick with my heart on all these games because
Yep.
I want the Eagles to lose, I want the Giants
So
to
you're
lose.
looking for a
I
way for
want
them
the
Jets
Cowboys
to try to get a
so
W
you
in this one.
always looking right because beforehand, like earlier in the season, you don't really think about those wins and losses as much. But now, Thanksgiving moving forward, every team got to lose that's ahead of you if you're trying to make the playoffs. Right.
Yeah.
So, of course, I want the Eagles to lose. I think that this is a good matchup for them. It's a good bounce back game for them too. I think the Jets will make it competitive though, but I do think that the Eagles are going to come out on top in this game. And I already forgot what the spread was in this game. The spread is the Eagles are favored by 7 right now.
By 7, okay.
So
Yeah,
I think
that sounds about right. I mean,
yeah, it does.
Jets aren't
I
playing
think
great
it'll
ball.
be close. I think I'm gonna go 27 to 16. I'm gonna go 27-16.
27 to
score,
16. Okay.
right?
I like that score a little bit. I think it's going to be a little bit more points from the Philadelphia Eagles. I think this, like you said, this is the perfect game to just bounce back and get back right if you're the Eagles. And I think Jalen Hurts, he's coming off his worst game of the season, but it doesn't take away what he's done already this season.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can do what, they're doing in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson and just build this offense to suit him a little bit better, he might be changing the way that the position is looked at quarterback. But Philadelphia right now, they got 18 rushing touchdowns on the season through 12 games. It's the most they've ever had through 12 games. So I look for them to just rely on that type of game plan. Get more creative. Maybe try to find a way to use the screen a little bit more with your running backs.
And Miles Sanders I know he's dealing with an ankle injury too.
Yeah.
But Miles Sanders Boston Scott's a good screen back too, but Miles Sanders is a perfect screen back.
Yeah,
he has the capability of breaking big plays.
Yeah.
70-yard plays before, for sure.
All the time.
So,
And Boston Scott, I like you mentioned him in the screen game too. He seemed like, maybe it's because he was playing against the Giants like you talked about, right? My man seemed like somebody gave him the power up before he got on the field because he was like a little bolt of lightning. He was like running around. You could, we saw this with Wayne Gallman a lot last year where you could see the effort. Like you see a guy trying to truck out those extra yards. And if you're an Eagles fan, it's unfortunate that he fumbled because it ruined his day. It really ruined his day. It was the most critical fumble you could possibly, have happen for the Eagles when they're driving on their second to last drive. So, I'd look for him to get more involved in it. I don't know how much Miles Sanders is going to be able to, how much effort he'll be able to give on that ankle, this week. But I look for the Eagles to really just run up the scoreboard here. They had five times this season they've scored over 30+, and 2 times they've scored over 40+. I'm looking at this to be one of those games. I'm gonna go 34-10 Eagles on this one.
blowout.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blowout. They I don't know. The Eagles have been really good at like taking care of bad teams. We can't forget though that the Dolphins right now are on a 3-game or 4-game winning streak. I believe it is.
They are on a 4-game winning streak.
4-game winning streak. So this is gonna be an interesting week here because the Giants really, really, really need a W to stay in this mix and stay in this wild card playoff conversation. So if the Eagles could lose, I'm all for it. I don't see the route, though. I really don't see the route. I think the Eagles know how to take care of teams like the Jets, like how they did the Falcons earlier on in this season and a few other teams. I think they'll put up the 34, 35 kind of range of something like that, and Jalen Hurts gets back. And maybe we'll see some good passes from Jalen Hurts in this game, too.
We're the only team that's playing a winning team in the NFC East this week.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah,
Eagles get the Jets.
But like I said, man, them Dolphins, man, I'm telling you, we got to watch out for them.
Don't worry.
We got to watch out for them.
There's some Dolphins. There's some Dolphins nuggets coming.
Got some nuggets.
Don't eat
Jets,
Dolphin
on the other
nuggets
hand, I can't see a path. The Saints, against the Cowboys tonight is going to be another interesting one, but I'm sure that you can find a roadmap for that one. With this one.
Look, man, shout out BB Jones. They don't call me Dora the Explorer for nothing when it comes to these roadmaps to victory. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be tough. There's some bumpy roads ahead for a lot of these games coming up tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough, man. So let's keep it pushing, man. And everybody, definitely pray for an Eagles loss here, man. I'm hoping that the Jets can pull a miracle.
Yeah, of course we're hoping that the Eagles
lose. Let's just hope for a loss here. We're going to need that for sure, man. We predicted 5 wins for the Eagles, man. It's looking crazy. One thing about the Jets, man, they have eclipsed the amount of wins they had last season already. They only had 2 wins last season. Now they're sitting on 3 wins. I don't know how because this team this year looks like a worse team, but we ain't going to go there. We ain't going to go there.
Awthentik is not a fan of the Jets. If you guys did not
I'm not
know
a fan
this.
of the Jets, man. The Jets are so bad. They're so bad, yo. Let's get into this next one, though, man. My New York Giants, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Giants Nation is in the building one time, man. So I thought this was I'm gonna start.
Graphic.
It kind of messes with my eyes. I'm gonna keep it funky, man. The 2 colors don't match too well. I was like, should I put the orange on the back? Or it just wasn't working out. Let's keep it funky here. I'm gonna start the show I'm gonna start this segment with a nugget here right off the bat. So, take all the passers in NFL history who have attempted at least 75 throws in 1 month, and nobody has ever been more accurate than Peyton Manning was for Indianapolis in December of 2008. Number 2 on that list might surprise you. Tua, the boy cannot miss right now, and the Miami Dolphins suddenly can't lose. I don't get it. He's completed 80.5% of his throws in November, the second best month in NFL history in terms of accuracy. And the Dolphins, now 5-7, will seek a 5th consecutive win on Sunday when they play host to our New York Giants. Y'all know what it is. Giants Nation in the building. Put some biceps in the chat one time for the Giants Nation. Starting quarterback Daniel Jones, dealing with a neck strain, and backup Mike Longneck Glennon will get the start if Daniel Jones isn't cleared by the medical staff to play. There's been some conflicting reports, what I'm seeing on my end, on how long this injury could sideline Jones. But the Giants did go out and sign former Georgia quarterback Jake Fromm off the Buffalo Bills practice squad for a little bit of insurance, if you know what I'm saying. So, this is the question. We're going to start it off with this. I saw somebody in the chat talking about Jake Fromm. We're going to get there. Make sure we don't forget to talk about him because I like that kid already.
You know I like Jake Fromm.
I like Jake Fromm. He's got a good back shoulder fade throw. I'm definitely digging his arm. But question I got for you is, how do you think this Giants offense would look under Mike Glennon? What will be the differences? What different nuances you think would change with Mike Glennon at quarterback?
Listen, well, all right. Before I answer, we'll get to the homie Tuto. He's saved by the Tuto.
Saved by the Tuto.
Shout out to Tuto for the $4.99 super chat. Says, salute Awthentik, the New York Giants legend of all time. Dropped by to pay our proper respects and for slap all slimy, stinky Eagles fans, losers out of the door.
Big facts. Get him up out of here. Big shout out to Tuto, man. We appreciate you pulling up, man. Tuto, one of the most supportive people in the whole Giants nation, man. We couldn't do this without you, brother. We definitely appreciate that, man. And yeah, slap. If you were a Jets fan, go out there and slap some stinky Eagles fans. All of us in the NFC East will thank you later for that, for sure.
All right. So to answer your question about Mike Glennon, I know we're supposed to be wearing free Mike Glennon shirts, right? But to me, it's not that big of a difference. Obviously, I think, Mike Glennon is probably playing with a little bit more of a Taylor Heineke sort of situation, which I think is something that probably has held back Daniel Jones a little bit, where it's almost like, and I say that because Taylor Heineke, when he first came on the field, he had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, Mike Glennon, he's a storied backup now. Like, he had his shot in the league. But, I mean,
6 of 21 as a starter. He's been really bad.
6 of 21 as a starter. I didn't even realize it was that bad. But, and listen, I thought Mike Glennon coming out of NC State, he wasn't a bad prospect. I mean, he had good arm strength, and stand tall in the pocket. He wasn't like a complete statue. He had a little bit of ability to kind of.
It's crazy that you say that, because I was watching what's the two homies' name? They on WFAN. I can't. Carlton and somebody. I forget the other homie's name. But that's what they were saying. They were like, Mike Glennon is a statue, and I was like, man, they kind of doing man a little dirty one time with that, man, because he's shown that he can at least throw on the run a little bit. He's got a little bit of rollout passing to his game a little bit, but he's nowhere near the runner of Daniel Jones. And honestly, that doesn't say too much, because we know my feelings about Daniel Jones as a runner. Daniel Jones is not supposed to be doing all this mobile stuff that the New York Giants have him doing, and that's why he's getting hurt every year. He's running the ball, running RPO, trying to do his best impersonation of an actual running mobile quarterback, and in return, he doesn't have the awareness or the agility to be able to get down to the ground before he gets smacked by defenders. I called it, man. During that game, and when we did the show with Big Pat on Monday, I said it. He got hurt on this play right here. Quarterbacks are not supposed to be taking that kind of a hit. He played the rest of the game, and then, you come out the game, they talk about he got a sore neck. And then this is the part that's so conflicting to me, is that they said he was week to week when they first reported it. Now they're talking about Daniel Jones is at practice. I got a text from Miz earlier saying that he saw a couple of reports on some other outlets saying on WFAN, saying that Jones is going to play in this game. In my heart and in my gut, after seeing the hit and knowing there was an injury on the hit,
you don't want him to play.
Not that I don't want him to play. If he's healthy, put him out there. I don't think he's going to play. I don't think he's going to play.
I wonder how much of that is Belichickian.
That's exactly what I said. I was talking to Tim from Online Big Blue. Shout out to Tim, right? And he was like, I don't think it's smoke and mirrors, right? And he was talking about it from like an injury perspective. Like, you really can't lie to the injury report no more, right? You can't just say this guy's questionable or doubtful when they're really not. There has to be like an actual medical report that proves the person is hurt. And I said, well, when I'm talking smoke and mirrors, I'm talking more smoke and mirrors for the Miami Dolphins and their defense trying to game plan for this. You don't want to tell them like, yo, Mike Glennon is going to be the starter this week, even if you know it, because then you completely remove everything that you're going to have to study in that game plan that's RPO-based and read option-based. Now it's just deal with Mike Glennon dropping back the pass, maybe stack 8 in the box and make sure Saquon Barkley and Devontae Booker can't get off the ground running.
And, I mean, listen. This Miami Dolphins defense right now is playing like the Miami Dolphins defense that we thought, well, at least that I thought, how they would play in the beginning of the season. Because at one point last year, the Dolphins were one of the best, defenses in the league. They have 2 of the top corners in Xavier Howard and oh my gosh, his name just slipped my mind. What is it? Is it he used to play for the Cowboys. Oh my God, Brian. I can't
I'm not
remember
sure what
his
you're
name
talking
right
about.
now. But they have two top-rated corners, and like Xavier Howard has starting to come along a little bit now, and they got some young guys over
Oh,
there.
Byron Jones. Byron
Byron
Jones.
Jones, Byron
Yeah.
Jones, that's what it is. And they got some young guys. Jalen. Oh my gosh, now his name's gonna slip my memory. But they have some Jalen Phillips. They have some young guys that are coming along in that defense too. And if you look at their last 4 games, as far as they've won 4 in a row. Okay,
Yeah.
they're only allowing 11.5 points per game in those games. Now, there is some questionable competition in there. So you got Houston, Baltimore, the Jets, and Carolina. Okay, but Carolina, I think, was their last game, and I think that was the biggest statement. Obviously, the Baltimore game was crazy because that came out of nowhere, and that was their second win in that 4-game stretch, and coming off of the Houston win. So
Yeah.
it's like that Baltimore game was kind of like, okay, that was really that momentum changer for them as a team. Now, the Carolina game, even though Carolina was coming into that matchup against Miami off of a loss against Washington, Cam Newton did not play anywhere as bad as what he did against Miami.
The
so it's like,
Washington numbers were, against Washington, he played a hell of a game. He just couldn't get it
Yeah.
done on the game-winning drive.
but and then in the first game when he didn't start, he had a touchdown the first 2
plays.
times he touched the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
the
And then he
difference
goes
with
into
the Dolphins, man, is you talked about this with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. They figured it out. They're overwhelming quarterbacks with the blitz.
blitz.
I saw
The
something on
blitz,
Twitter
blitz
about how
is
they
crazy.
blitzed them 33 times with the same blitz
Yeah.
package in that game.
Yeah.
Cam Newton, same thing. He looked overwhelmed.
I want to say they're the number 1 blitzing team right now in the National Football League.
I wouldn't doubt it, but maybe the Giants are the perfect team to take, advantage of that kind of aggressiveness from the Dolphins because we're not
Saquon
dealing with a
screens.
quarterback who's just going to be running the ball. You could run screens, and if you can get that vertical passing game or intermediate type of vertical passing game kind of working, I think it's a recipe to actually take care of the Dolphins with either quarterback, with Mike Glennon or with Daniel Jones out there. Daniel Jones definitely going to give us a better chance because you see what Daniel Jones does on read option when these defensive ends are very aggressive. He makes them pay.
The offensive line for the Giants, we've talked about this, I feel like, multiple times, not just this year. And
Yeah.
I saw you on Twitter, I think it was today, when you were like, they've been rebuilding the offensive line for 10 years.
We've been rebuilding the offensive line for 10 years. That's really ridiculous. Granted, they haven't spent a lot of first-round capital on it. My man, Nate Talk Sports, definitely brought that to my attention. But they've been talking about getting this line right since, 2012.
Yeah, because, even during Eli, prime Eli,
Yeah.
it felt like that was when he trademarked the fetal position to the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Big time.
so
Started
it's
learning
like,
from Peyton.
but yeah, they're gonna have to figure something out against this Miami front because in their last 4 games they have 16 sacks. They're averaging 4 sacks a game over their 4-game winning streak. They have 28 sacks on the year. So like they're getting, and they are, I believe, correct me if I'm mistaken, but I believe they are the number 1 in quarterback pressure rate in the National Football League. So there's going to be a lot of stuff going on as far as that defensive front for the Miami Dolphins. But all that being said, and the stat you brought up about Tua, I loved, because that was something that came across when I was, doing my research for this game, was about his, completion percentage. And
It's
Tua
surprising.
He has really come along since he came, that really funny game where it was like he was hurt, but he wasn't hurt. And
Then they put him back in the
Jacoby
next
Brissett
week,
got
and,
hurt, and then he came back in. And
ridiculous.
so he's been playing really well since that point. And I think, Jalen Waddle obviously has a lot to do with that. Jalen Waddle has proven, that he's going to be a guy there. And I think, as much as there's controversy about the Miami Dolphins and their quarterback situation and what they're going to do, are they going to get Deshaun Watson? Are they going to draft another quarterback? Blah, 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 blah. I think in hindsight, and ideally, you would hope that Tua Waddle combination is something that they can build their team around.
You can see the chemistry just every week getting better and better between them. And Tua is starting to look like a better quarterback now. Jalen Waddle, he's balling out right now, man. He's 125 yards shy of that Miami rookie record we were talking about for yardage, which is 883. He's sitting on 759 yards right now. That record has been held for 20 years from Chris Chambers.
And the best part about that too, 77 catches.
Yeah,
77 catches. Like
turning up.
he's probably going to get 100 catch, 1,000 yards in his first season.
Yeah.
And Tua missed a bunch of games. So you're talking, and we saw how, I mean, God bless his heart. We saw how bad Jacoby Brissett was this
Yeah,
year.
he struggled.
Like
He
he just
struggled.
wasn't, like I think his time is over now. And it's unfortunate because there was a window there for a couple of years within the last, 2-3 years where you thought Brissett deserved to be a starting quarterback in this league. But the way he looked this year just didn't really,
Yeah, and
come together.
that team over there is not really suited best for Jacoby Brissett. He needs some real
Great
weapons on
point.
the outside. He's
Yeah.
not the kind of quarterback. His completion percent has never really been one of his highest stats. And I just think he the kind of guy that just needs those weapons. He would do well as a backup in like with Los Angeles Chargers or something like that. Herbert goes down, he'll come in there and play good football. But with a team like this where you're really struggling with identity, it's really you got a rookie coming in here and taking over the number one role at wide receiver that quick. What's the homie's name that's always hurt? Parker is always hurt in and out the lineup. Just there's no consistency there for a real passer, I feel like. And Tua gives them a good advantage, I feel like, just maneuvering in that pocket, man. He looks like the quarterback that they drafted now in these past couple of
Mhm.
games.
Absolutely. And you know what else too is that we talk about the Dolphins, right? And yeah, the Dolphins are on a 4-game winning streak. But let's not forget the New York Giants have won 3 out of their last 5. Okay? So
Yeah.
they're 3-2 in their last 5. And in those games that they've won, I mean, it's apparent what's winning them those football games,
Yeah.
and that's the defense.
Yep.
In the 3 wins of the last 5 games, your 3 wins, do you know how many points the Giants are averaging allowing opposing teams?
It's definitely in the teens somewhere. I'm gonna say 12. How about 12? Right out of the teens.
8.6 points per game on average in the 3
Yeah.
wins of the last 5 games for the New
Yeah,
York
the
Giants.
Carolina game, then the Eagles. I mean, they only put up the Eagles' performance against us was so horrible.
But the
And
two
then the
the two
Raiders.
losses is a completely different story.
Yeah,
They've given up an average of 25 points per game in the 2 losses.
yeah.
So it's
was it
like
33 to the Bucks,
I think it was 30 and 20, I believe. So it was 30
and then
to
what was the other?
the
Oh yeah, and the Chiefs put up 20.
Chiefs.
They beat us 20-16. Yep.
So it's not necessarily like it's funny because I heard somebody today talk about how the way that you look at defenses allowing like 21 points isn't necessarily bad in today's NFL, right?
Yeah.
So, but when your offense is not putting up the numbers like the Giants' offense isn't, their defense has to hold opponents to 20 or below points
Yeah, to be able to have a shot.
the Giants can find a way to start scoring points. That their defense, they're going to have to rely on their defense to basically shut teams out, and that's what they've done in those 3 wins. So
Yeah.
it's like a battle of these 2 defenses that have been, reemerging. Both end of the year very very strong,
Yeah.
and kind of got off to slow starts this year.
Both those losses that you mentioned are the games where Patrick Graham was playing that bend don't break kind of style because he knew that those offenses with the Bucks and the Chiefs had very vertical styles, to them. So they were trying to keep everything in front. Whereas, you look at this game against Jalen Hurts and the Eagles last week. The Giants were able to be a little bit more versatile on defense.
And so that was going to be my question to you: is that which defensive style do you think Patrick Graham decides to go with? Because Jalen Waddle can beat you deep for sure, but he's
Yeah.
more of a if you lead him, he's more of a yak receiver, somebody who's
for
going to get
sure.
you a lot of catches, but can give you those yards after the catch. So
Yeah, I think you see a similar game plan to what you saw against the Eagles a little bit. Obviously not, as much predicated on stopping the run. But at least a little bit more versatile because we're seeing Xavier McKinney is now becoming that guy where, if you got him over the top, there should be no problem trying to stop a guy like Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle now, though, I will say this, man, he's on my radar now as one of those guys, kind of like how Terry McLaurin was coming off the rookie year. I can remember a specific conversation I had on Twitter with somebody one time. We were talking about Odell, and they were like, Odell has fell to being a wide receiver who's going to be right around 1,000 yards and like 3 or 4 touchdowns a year. And I said, you won't take that? Because that's what Terry McLaurin came in the league doing right off the bat, right around 1,000, 3 to 4 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle now has got 4 touchdowns on the year. And if he can end the year pushing double-digit touchdowns, you're looking at a guy now who could, he's got to be mentioned in the top 20 wide receivers for sure, even if it's just after a rookie year. He's quick, fast, he can run good routes. It literally reminds me of Terry McLaurin, not the play style, but just the way that he came in the league and put the league on notice right off the bat. You see some of the catches he made around the goal line last week. I mean, he's in traffic making the same style catches, difficult, a 10 type of catch in the NFL. So, I mean, he's definitely, people should look at him as a guy now. If he can finish the year as strong as he did start the year, he's going to be one of those guys for sure.
Yeah, and before we talk about Jake from State Farm, the Tua Waddle thing, the way that Tua has in the last 2 games on the plays that I watched a lot, the way that Tua is leading Waddle is just perfect.
Yeah,
he's putting the ball placement on those routes has been so perfect that it's just like there's not one stride.
Yeah,
left.
missed with the throw. You gotta love those, man.
It's a pretty thing because it really like shows off both players' abilities. Like when you can throw a pass like that, it shows off the pinpoint precision and timing of the quarterback, and shows off the the route running effectiveness,
the
and
hands
the speed
ability,
and the hands of a receiver. So it's a beautiful play to see in the National Football League, and I love it. So, but yes, Jake Fromm. So you went back and watched some Fromm film?
Yeah, I did, man, and I like what I saw from him. He kind of looked like a Mac Jones a little bit, with a little bit more, I don't want to say mobility, I'll say agility. He looked like he could do a couple more things in the pocket, but the arm talent is 1,000% there. The back shoulder fades look amazing. Just leading his wide receivers. It surprised me that he was a 5th round pick, because I don't keep my eyes on college football that much. But seeing the way he looked, I mean, I scouted Daniel Jones entering the 2019 season, and I liked what I saw on tape, but the tape that I saw from Fromm looked better. I mean, I'll keep it real. I know he was at a better school, better wide receivers, but he was slinging the ball to a lot of different people over there too, and also was the beneficiary of a bunch of spectacular catches. I will say that. I mean, people were making some fantastic catches over there, and we know Georgia keeps them mollies on the line for sure. So I like what I see out of him. And he was wearing that number 4 in Buffalo. You know how I feel about that number 4, bro. I really like that number. I don't know if y'all been paying attention to the intro when we do Awthentik and The Beard. There's a picture of me on JV. I really like that number 4. So if you can find a way to maybe salvage this guy's career, I don't know. They're going to be judging it in practice. It's not something that's going to happen this year, probably. I wouldn't imagine, unless, and that's what scares me about the Daniel Jones stuff. Why would y'all go out there and sign a quarterback if Daniel Jones is going to be healthy out here?
To me, that's like,
it's puzzling.
That's a sign, right?
The Giants have been like a head scratcher for a good 2 seasons here under Joe Judge. So they make moves where you're just kind of like, what?
For sure. There's been more than a few.
And Gettleman too, starting with, when's the last time you heard, we didn't sign him to trade him, and then like a week or 2 later, you literally trading the best player on your team. Like, the Giants just have been known to do this. And right quickly before you get to what you was about to say, today I was looking at Maggie and Moose from WFAN. They had Ian Rappaport come on, right? And he was talking about situations where the GM and the coach aren't on the same page, whether it be in a draft or about a player or about anything, and it usually doesn't come out. And Maggie, God bless Maggie, because she goes hard. I really I get down with Maggie. She said, I don't mean to cut you off, but like, can you tell us like of a story or an incident where that actually happened that you know about? Put him on the spot. And Rappaport was like, yeah. So there was a defensive tackle for the New York Giants that he was going to be a free agent at the end of the year. We all know his Snacks. And there was a dispute about him, whether they should trade him before he became a free agent before the trade deadline, or if they should keep him on a team that was 1-7 at the time. Granted, we were still in the hunt a little bit because our division has been so bad lately. They end up keeping that player on the roster, and then at the end of the year, we had to let Snacks walk. So we know what that is. Now, that's a situation where Dave Gettleman is not on the same page as the head coach. And there's probably been multiple occasions that have been like that with the Giants organization. You see it when we just fired Jason Garrett. Joe Judge, there's reports that came out saying that he wanted to fire him as early as November of 2020. So I'm starting to kind of pull back a little bit on my Joe Judge hate a little bit. Maybe they didn't really give him the keys to the Jeep.
I would have to say that they probably didn't, man. I mean, you can't really. I mean, listen. If the guy comes in, right, and he's been driving, you know what I'm saying, a bucket,
you can't just
you can't just give him the Lambo. You gotta, move him up, like give him like a Lexus.
You gotta treat him like you would treat your son. You know, 16th birthday, he get the license and whatnot. He ready to go. You don't just go buy him the brand new IS 300 or something crazy.
Yeah.
You gotta give him a little, Corolla vibes. Some slight little Honda Civic. Work your
way up. Because
right.
Listen, you're not just giving a Lambo to the special teams coach. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I got it. And I know we got to move on from this soon, but I got to get to this. So no Mets, no Nets, no Jets. He's saying Maggie is being replaced soon. I definitely see the tension on that show. And look, no disrespect to nobody, right? But it looks like Maggie know more football than Moose. I'm gonna keep it funky as I can with you. He be talking on that show like he is a New York Giants homer, which I know we're all fans, but at the end of the day, if you trying to assess the game and speak on the game, you gotta be not optimistic, not pessimistic, but you got to keep it authentic and be realistic. I'm gonna keep it real with you. And the way he talks about Daniel Jones is like, we got to give him another chance, We haven't been able to assess him because he's been hurt. This offensive line, this excuse. When Maggie is on the opposite side of that, and you could tell they be cutting each other off a lot. The vibes on that show definitely have plummeted a little bit. But I'm following Maggie wherever she goes. She's one of my favorite in the whole New York Giants community as far as people on like major network radio like that too. She's one of my favorite over there, and I think she's a little bit slept on too. But keep me in the loop on that. No Mets, no Nets, no Jets. I need to know what's going on with that. And if you know where you saw that report, link me to that. I definitely want to see that.
And you know what? Ian's on McAfee. Ian's on with Maggie and them. Ian, what's up, man? When you coming
on Awthentik and The Beard?
To Awthentik and The Beard, man. Like if you're gonna be making rounds, take a pit stop here.
Hey,
man.
Pull up, bro. Pull up, man. We can chop it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Hey, Ian, just reach out to our marketing department and our PR department, and
definitely holler at the graphics department before you come on. We're gonna need some Ian Rappaport graphics, some lower thirds, some things like that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to holler at the graphics department. We're gonna need the ticker up to date with all the Ian Rappaport breaking news. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we break some news on the show. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, that'd be awesome. Okay, now I'm gonna be honest with you. I might want you to pick this game first because I'm split really bad on this game.
I am split on this game too. Here's the crazy part too is I've been picking against the Giants in a couple of games here, and they got us some W's.
And I've been picking for the Giants.
Ooh, you're right about that. You definitely had like 2 roadmaps in a row for the Giants. All right, so let's talk about the series a little bit here. The Giants are 3-0 at Miami. That's good to know right there. We also beat them in London in 2007. It's our second trip to Miami in the last 25 seasons, though, so all that was a long time ago.
Wait, was the last time you guys were in Miami was a boat trip?
in Miami? Yeah, in Miami, yeah. 2016 for sure because when we played them in London, they were in Eli's game too. Remember Eli's game in 20 so it's not the boat trip. It was Eli Manning. Nope, that was a home game. Eli Manning got that last win against Miami at home. So, yeah, you're right. The boat trip was probably the last time we was in Miami. Miami's 2-7 against the Giants all time. It's their second worst against any opponent. They're 2-8 against the Houston Texans, and they just beat them. That's crazy, man. So are they going to beat another team that they were worst against? Can New York go in here and beat the Dolphins? I can't take too long on this, too. Play it safe, big guy. Giants 5, Dolphins 3. Shout out East Suds one time in the building. I'm going to go. Man, this is tough. I think the Dolphins are playing better football. I'm going to go for the Dolphins to get their 5th win in a row, which will tie Flores' record over there. He had 5 wins in a row last season. They're turning it on just like they did last season. I'm going to go Miami Dolphins in a close one, and this is with me expecting Mike Glennon to be the starter. I'm going to go 23-20 Dolphins.
I got 21-17 Dolphins.
This is not good for the Giants Nation in the building. Maybe we could change our mind on Sunday. You never
Make
know.
sure you guys tune in on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock a.m. Shout out to graphics department.
Yo, they on it.
We're coming back on Sunday at 11 o'clock a.m. for the parlay. You never know. There has been,
multiple occasions where I flip-flopped.
all of us on a lot of games. So, yeah, definitely come check us out Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the parlay. Because you never know. Listen, when we get down to the end of the regular season, we're going to sit down. We're going to watch. That's going to be like 36 hours of Awthentik and The Beard tape. We're going to combine. We're going to get all the records, and we're going to do a highlight reel. It's going to be a whole thing. So, yeah, end of the season stuff.
Yeah, I'm glancing over the chat right now, just seeing how people feel about this game. Shout out Miles one time in the building. We appreciate you pulling up, my G.
Big shout out to Miles Thiessen for the $4.99 super chat. Says, going to my first G-Men game Sunday, excited/nervous, hoping that DJ plays. Dolphins been playing well, but beating bottom-tier teams. 21-17 Giants is the score. You heard it here first from Miles Thiessen. My man, have a great time at the game.
Yeah,
I've never been
to
the Miami game, so I listen, I mean, that's not a bad place to be in the December, so enjoy yourself.
And they talked about the last couple times the Giants went down there is always in December. So that's a great thing for us to not have to have a game in the cold weather, in these early December games here, man, because it's going to get frigid here. You're going to have to rely on the running game. I like the score prediction right there that you picked, Miles, man, 21-17. I hope that we can pull that off because that's kind of the game I'm seeing right there. It's going to be a close type of battle.
Everybody in the chat is kind of around that same score, whether it's for the Dolphins or for the Giants.
Yeah.
I think everybody's kind of like realizing that, these two teams have their defense has been playing, has been carrying them through their winning ways in the last 5 games. Obviously, the big difference is Tua's completing 80% of his passes, and Daniel Jones
that's definitely the difference.
That's
Jalen Waddle's definitely having a year right now. But shout out to Miles, man, for pulling up, man. Don't know if you're subbed up, man, but definitely sub up to the channel, man. We welcome you to the Awthentik and The Beard fan, bro. Appreciate you pulling up, man. So let's take a quick little commercial break real quick, and then we'll split these last 2 games. We'll give you a little more time on the Washington game, so we'll give you about 12 minutes on the Washington roadmap, and then we'll do about a good 8 minutes on that Dallas Cowboys game and get everybody out of here before kickoff. And we'll try to, abide by the clock this time. We've been going over a lot the last couple of shows, so we'll be right back, man, after this commercial break.
Your wide receiver on IR? Aw, shucks. Your running back keep fumbling every week? Man, damn it all. Well, come chop it up with your boys. We are waiver wire tight. Awthentik and The Beard. Every Sunday morning, streaming live at 11 a.m.
Y'all know what it is, man. We just talked about it. The parlay, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to the homie Sleepwalker on that drop one time, man. Definitely give me an email if you guys need any drops from the homie Sleepwalker. I'm sure he wouldn't mind a little bit of work coming his way for sure. But definitely pull up, man. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The parlay, we're going to be talking about fantasy football and all that good stuff. Me and The Beard took an L last week. We about to bounce back heavy this weekend. Get back in that winning column for sure. But let's go. You see, I tried to amp you up a little bit with the hype vibes on the beat. Let's go to this Washington at Raiders game, man. The Las Vegas Raiders are coming off a huge Thanksgiving Day victory over the Dallas Cowboys and hope to turn around their recent history against the Washington football team on Sunday. This one kind of surprised me. I was doing a little bit of digging about the Raiders and the Washington football team's matchup. The Raiders still lead the all-time series 8-6, but have lost 3 in a row to Washington, and Derek Carr is looking for payback. The Washington football team are on their best run of the season so far, winning 3 in a row. Now they enjoy a trip to Sin City to face the Raiders, who, despite everything that they've been going through this season, are continuing to fight for the AFC West, man. On the back of Derek Carr, man, that kid definitely resilient, man. He's a fighter, came off that bad game. I love what his coach, the interim coach, said about him last week. For me, this is a must-win. This is a must-win game for both teams right here, man. Raiders are clawing. They trying to get them a victory. The Washington football team has been playing great football since Antonio Gibson has came back off that shin injury. He's been running the ball very effective, and I think the whole game plan got to go around him. But for you, the Beard, do we have a roadmap to success for the Washington football team when they take this trip to Vegas?
Oh, yeah, I mean, there is a roadmap, and there's going to be no stops at the strip clubs, no stops at the casinos.
Shout out to Wayne Haskins one time.
We're running. Run the ball. I mean, listen, it's so simple that it's scary. Like, it's right in front of our faces. The reason why Washington has been successful is because of the run game. And it's the domino effect, okay? So the success of the run game has led to the success of Taylor Heineke because he doesn't have to throw the ball 40 times a game like he was early in the year.
Yeah.
And because of the run game being successful, the time of possession has been won by the Washington football team during this winning streak, which allows your defense to play better because your defense isn't on the field the entire game. You know, so it's just the run game is so important because it does affect your quarterback, it affects your defense. And those are the three things that you need to win football games in these later months of the year. So obviously it's going to come down to running the ball. And Washington is crazy to think about because of the way we started the season. We're averaging 125.5 yards per game on the ground right now.
Yeah, that's excellent. And Antonio Gibson coming off his career highs with the 29 carries. You know, y'all had so many plays on Monday night. I think it was almost 80 plays.
79, I think. 72
plays,
or 79,
like,
75.
I don't think y'all get that many plays in this game because, you know, when you talk about Taylor Heineke, you know, and the running game aiding him in the passing game, this kid was efficient. 27 of 33. That is very, very efficient, man. And a lot in return, you get 29 carries from Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, and a lot of that is that intermediate route. Not a lot of deep passes. I think he's like 7.4 yards per attempt or something around that as far as his number goes, which is kind of good going into this game because the one thing that the Raiders do well is defend the deep ball.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to be effective in the middle of the field and then those intermediate routes. Logan Thomas is going to be expected to have a big game. I'd imagine that his snap count goes up a little bit. Curtis Samuel, same thing. His snap count will probably go up a little bit.
Good to see him in back-to-back games, man. I'm happy for him because it's been a tough year for him dealing with that. Was it a quad or was it a groin? What was his injury?
Man, it was a
leg.
muscle. A leg. It was like the whole muscle. The leg muscle as a whole was bothering him. But yeah,
that's good to see him get back.
And we're going to have to get to Derek Carr. The Raiders don't like to run the ball a lot. Obviously, they ran the ball more last game against Dallas than they had in any other game this season, and I think that's because they were listening to Awthentik and The Beard, and I gave them the roadmap that they had to run the ball, and they ran the ball, they won the game, like I predicted. But you're going to have to find a way to get to Derek Carr. The Cowboys got to Derek Carr on more than one occasion last week, and when you're talking about getting to Derek Carr, it's also you're going to have to talk about protecting Taylor Heineke because I mention these two guys every time we talk about the Raiders because I love both of them, and that's Ngakoue and Max Crosby.
Yeah.
Now Max Crosby doesn't have this amount of sacks that Ngakoue does. Ngakoue, I believe, I'm going to say he's at like 8 or 9 sacks right now. And a lot of that is because it's kind of similar in a sense to, you know, Chase Young, Montez Sweat, or any team that has that double threat on the edges, the Cleveland Browns, Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney. Jadeveon Clowney doesn't have nearly as many sacks as Myles Garrett does, but what it does is it changes up the scheme in which the offense has to block because you have two people on the edges. Now, Max Crosby is excellent at getting pressure on the quarterback. But he just hasn't had, you know, he's going through double teams. You want to talk about somebody who gets double teamed a lot. Max Crosby is getting double teamed a lot. Now, don't forget, the Washington football team's offensive line is completely banged up. So you're going, you know, we're on third stringers all over.
Nobody talking about that. Nobody talking about that.
And they're not because their offensive line, and that's where the coaching staff has to get a lot of credit because this offensive line, as banged up as it has been phenomenal. I want to say Heineke only got sacked once against Seattle. You know, so
it was once.
It's just those sort of things that you're going to have to you really have to continue to build. Don't do what the Eagles did last week against the Giants and forget about what got you to this point.
Yeah.
What got you to this point was, running the ball, controlling the clock, playing good defense, no miscommunications. There was a couple of miscommunications on that back end against Seattle that led to big plays. And you want to talk about somebody who's trying to make a statement and can make big plays. It's a gentleman by the name of Deshaun Jackson. And we saw that he could still do that. We've seen him do it a couple of times when he was with the Rams earlier this year. We saw him do it on Thanksgiving against the Cowboys. So you got to know where Deshaun Jackson is at all times. And Waller's out, but don't sleep on Moreau. Awthentik and I, we talked about Moreau before once, and he came through in the clutch. I want to say he had that game, but I forget what it was.
2 touchdowns, I believe it was.
Yeah, so it's they have weapons, and I talk about Hunter Renfrow all the time because I love his route running. I love his ability to catch the ball underneath. He just can do so many different things. So you're going to and Derek Carr is the leading passer when it comes to
coming
yards.
off of career highs too. 8 catches in that last game against Dallas for 134 yards. It's his best game to date. And you talked about Jackson. He also eclipsed 100 yards in that game, too. It's the first time the Raiders had 2 wide receivers go over 100 yards since 2016 in the same game. And I heard you talking about Yannick Ngakoue, too. A little nugget from him. He's got at least 1 sack in 3 straight games, and he has his 6th straight season with at least 8 sacks to open his career. Yeah. Talk about a start to a career.
And he spent most of that career in Jacksonville.
Yep. And Josh Jacobs, too. The Raiders – that might be one of their best games of the year. He's coming off one of his most productive games of the year as well, too. He had 112 yards from scrimmage and a touchdown in that game. So, I think that the Raiders can kind of adjust what they've been doing throughout the year. They've been neglecting the run. But you could come out in this game and you could actually run the rock. And what I was going to ask you, too, is like, with the offensive line being banged up for the Washington football team, right? Do you think that it's the running that makes them effective as pass blockers as well, too, because you got to defend the run? Because the Giants, we know, these second and third string guys come up and they all look bad.
It's 100% what it is. And the thing is that you ask any offensive lineman, you want to run block or do you want to pass block? 99.9% of them are going to say run block.
Yeah.
And it's just it makes things – mean, I couldn't have said it any better than how you just said it because, that's what it is. And it's funny because it affects it on so many levels. And you don't really ever think about it that way. Like, does the defensive line have to play things different? So like they're kind of like a step slower at getting to the quarterback because they have to, hold their spot for the run.
You can't be too over aggressive.
So a lot of times everybody thinks about the run, it opens up for play action, right? But nobody really thinks about it from that perspective. So I totally 100% agree with that, and I think. There's going to be 2 areas of the field that are going to be important for both of these teams. And I think that obviously, besides the natural running the ball and the turnovers, the 2 things that is going to come down to between these 2 teams and who's going to win this game is going to be third down and red zone. Okay, so in the red zone, obviously, the Washington football team is second to last 31st. In converting in the red zone. 31st at 47.
Shout out to our New York Giants. 32nd.
We should call this the show the worst in the red zone. But, 47.2% conversion in the red zone. Now, the Raiders aren't that much better. They're 28th at 50%. So who's going to be able to convert in the red zone most? Now, don't forget, Washington has a new kicker, Brian Johnson.
Yep.
And the Raiders have Dylan Carlson, who just kicked 5 field goals, including like a 50-plus yarder. So you got to give a little bit of the edge there to the Raiders.
Little fantasy nugget.
Really, really important to take advantage of these long drives. You can't have these long drives and then get 3 points, or a long drive and turn the ball over, because it helps in certain aspects of the game, but in reality you're basically letting your team down by not putting on points on the board after having those long drives. Now, third down, okay, the Las Vegas Raiders are horrible at converting third downs. They are 29th in the league. They only convert 34.4% of their third downs on offense.
They went 2 straight games where they only had 2 conversions on third down.
Yeah. It's insane. And so defensively, though, Washington is the worst defense on third down.
Oh,
They're
man.
32nd in the league at 51.4%. So once again, you have this sort of, okay, who's going to win out of these two worst teams? You have one team that's pretty much that's third worst in converting third downs against a team that's the absolute worst at defending third downs. So you have to win that battle if you want to win the game. And then, defensively, the Raiders are 16th against defending third downs. At 40.4%, they allow their opposing teams to convert third downs. And Washington themselves on offense is 17th. 39.2% of the time they convert third downs. So literally, when you get down to the third down and you get down to the red zone, these teams, that's where the battle is going to be.
Yeah.
Who can create first
crazy
downs
the
on
Raiders
third down?
put up that many points, and the game was, to me, that was a blowout game until Dak Prescott starts coming back in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
They were 3 of 13 in that game on third down. So it's like they're not improving that much, even though they looked a lot better against the Dallas Cowboys last week. But I'll tell you this, right before you get to rounding out the destination on that roadmap, the number's 300. This is Sparta.
What's that? Who has to be held at 300?
Derek Carr, 300 passing yards or more. He's 6-0. He's lost every game this year. He's lost every other game where he hadn't breached 300 yards.
That's why Awthentik and the Beard are Awthentik and the Beard. Awthentik just found the last right to left.
The last right to left turn before we get that destination on the right.
In Vegas. And in that parking lot at Vegas,
man.
After we take that left turn of holding Carr under 300 yards, is the parking lot of victory.
That's where it's at.
The Washington football team will win this game against the Las Vegas Raiders by a final score of 27-21.
This is a big game. This is a big game right here. Raiders just coming off beating the Cowboys. They're 0-5 in those matchups where Derek Carr doesn't throw for 300 yards. He's got 6 300 yards. It's tied for the second most in team history to Rich Gannon's 10. Ooh.
Monique is still salty.
Oh, yeah, she's salty. Thanks for that 5-star rating review, though, Monique. We love you. Their defense played a little better last week, too. They forced 5 3-and-outs against the Dallas Cowboys, too.
Which isn't easy.
That's not easy at all. I'm going to go. You know how you talked about, like, picking, how you need the teams in the NFC East to lose?
Yeah.
That's settling in a little bit for me right now. I got to go with the Raiders in this one, man. Unless Taylor Heineke plays, like, the best game of his life.
Like
I got to go Raiders
like
here.
This?
Ooh, I mean, that would be maybe the best game of his life. Shout out Waterfly in the building one time. Waterfly, you trying to make me change my pick late like that, bro? Washington win this game. Nah, man. Raiders. We're going Raiders. 29. See, this is the crazy part about it. I wanted to make it like a one-score game, but I feel like if it's a one-score game and you get a ball to Taylor Heineke late, he's going to drive down, score, and y'all going to win the game. Taylor Heineke likes those moments, I feel like. He's like, yeah, put me in, coach. Third down, we needed to win the game. I'll win the game. So I'm going to go 29-21 Raiders.
29-21 Raiders. Got it.
29-21 Raiders. We got to go back and check out all these picks too. We always say that.
That's what I'm saying. At the end of the year, we're gonna sit down. We're gonna watch 36 hours of Awthentik and the Beard film.
It's probably more than that.
Yeah,
it's probably
a couple of 3-hour episodes.
We had a couple 5-hour episodes.
And we're gonna put together. We're gonna put together our Thursday records and our parlay records. And then while we're doing that, we'll make highlight reels, and we'll clip everything and we'll send it to the editing department, and then we'll put together a best of Awthentik and the Beard. Year 3.
Maybe like with 2 weeks left in the season, see where we at, so I can let it help me determine my picks moving forward from there and try to, I like to think I'm making better picks than you on this show, but I feel like the last couple of weeks these roadmaps just been on point, man. I don't know, I can't beat the roadmap.
Dora the Explorer.
Doc Brown.
All right, Thursday night football time. I gotta.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Shout out to the graphics department one time on the Thursday Night Football logo one time.
Love it.
Cowboys taking on the Saints. Oh, my. Yeah, that's right.
You kind of got. We got a nice little like color match almost here going.
Yeah, this kind of fly right here. I'm
yeah,
just
like
let the beat
you're
play.
the Stussy and the Nike, the Cowboys, the Saints, the black, the gold, and like little.
I like it, man. After 2 consecutive losses, the Dallas Cowboys will try to resume their march to the NFC East title when they take on the New Orleans Saints in a key Thursday Night Football matchup tonight. The Cowboys 7-4, who have already improved on last year's 6-10 record. That's 2 teams right there. The Jets, they got 1 more win than last year. The Cowboys already got 1 more win than last year, man. They're eyeing their first division crown since 2018. The Saints 5-6 have dropped 4 straight games, man. Trevor Siemian, that dude cannot get a W, and he's not going to get another start, it's looking like, in this one, too. They're 3 games behind the first-place Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC South. The Saints have won the last 4 NFC South titles, but are in danger of failing to do so for the first time since 2016. Dak Prescott and a healthy Amari Cooper head to the Superdome to try to get back in the winning column against the New Orleans Saints. The Dallas Cowboys have lost 3 of 4 since a 6-game winning streak pushed them to 6. They was 6-1. You remember that? Y'all was sitting at like 2-6 going into that bye. They were 6-1. We were looking at it like the Giants, the Washington football team, and the Philadelphia Eagles absolutely had no chance. The Saints are trying to avoid their first 5-game skid since 2005. That was under previous head coach Jim Haslett one time, man. So, the Beard, what you got on this matchup? Give me a little roadmap from Dora for your man BB Jones one time. I hope BB Jones is in the building.
I will tell you this: I had to tear up my original roadmap as soon as I got word that Alvin Kamara was going to be out. That ruined everything. Big shout out to Tuto for the $4.99 super chat. Says winners don't have days off or an off season. They grind 120% all day, every day. Winners, they wake up every morning with a purpose. To be a victor.
That you could apply that to life right there, Tudo. I'm digging that, man. That's good vibes right there, man. Shout out Tudo one time in the building. Giants Nation is in the building one time. I know. But now, before you set this up,
yeah,
I heard through the interwebs, okay, that this is better if the Cowboys win this game for the New York Giants because the Saints are in the hunt now above the New York Giants. So let me bring that up for the fans one time. We're going to keep this graphic on deck. Right now, this is what the playoff situation is looking like in the NFC. You see our Giants down there at the bottom right hand above those Chicago Bears, the Bears. And you got the Carolina Panthers, the Eagles, and the Saints all above us right now. So I know we're looking for a loss from the Atlanta Falcons, the Minnesota Vikings, and we're looking for a loss from the Saints. But the reason why I'm a little skeptical about this, right, is because maybe there's a chance for us to like still try to make our way to win this division somehow instead of trying to get this wild card if the Dallas Cowboys could literally fall off a cliff for the rest of the season maybe.
Yeah, I think at this point in the game, it's win and lose. We could start dissecting who wins and who loses in about a 2 weeks,
half a week maybe.
You know, yeah. But listen, this game is tough to find a way for the Saints to win. I mean, it's really not. It is, you know. So there's no Kamara. I mean, you got LaJordan Humphrey, Deontay Harris.
Lil Jordan. They named him Lil Jordan.
I remember I told you about this guy forever, and everybody just thought I was joking, and I was being dead serious.
I think I just missed it. I thought you were saying, Lil Jordan, but his real name is Lil Jordan.
Lil Jordan,
for real. And he's not a little guy.
Nice catches. He's made some nice catches the last couple of seasons. He's just been kind of buried in the depth charts. But that's how banged up the Saints are, man. There's just you don't really know what to expect. But listen, Taysom Hill, they gave this dude the bag. Before they gave him this bag, they gave him another bag.
They gave him a bag with options. It's like, hey, if you play quarterback, the bag will get bigger. Looks like the bag is about to get bigger. More incentives for his contract for him to be able to make up to, I think it was up to $80 or $90 million.
So listen, he's going to be key tonight. No Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
Him and Mark Ingram are going to have to control the game. And I think they can do it. Let's see where the roadmap is going. Yes. Oh, yeah, it's going there. Now, remember, the Dallas Cowboys do not have their head coach.
Yep. Mike McCarthy out with COVID. Your boy, the defensive
Dan
coordinator.
Quinn.
Dan Quinn's going to take over head
who
coaching
used to be the head
responsibilities.
coach for the Atlanta Falcons, who
Yes, sir.
Sean Payton, knows quite well. So you got a little bit of a inside edge right there.
Division rivalry.
There we go. Okay. Now, Zeke is semi banged up.
You know how
right?
they say on the draft when they put the team, they be like, "You are on the clock."
Yes.
That's where we at right now. We at 8:21.
Okay. So Zeke is a banged up. Jerry Jones says he's going to have a serious load. Amari Cooper, keep your eye on Amari Cooper. He might be on a snap count. Now, you said he's healthy. They say he's healthy, but he's not really healthy. He got a cough. He got a little bit of lingering effects from the COVID.
Came into
so
practice
he
feeling
might
a little
not be
still sick.
100%. CeeDee Lamb's probably going to have a big game. Going to need to have a big game. Tony Pollard's going to need to have a big game. Schultz is going to need to have a big game. No Cedric Wilson in this game as well.
Yeah.
So, listen, there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving pieces in this game. The Saints are going to have to do a few things, okay? The Saints, don't forget, are third against the run. They had the third best run defense in the National Football League.
Yeah, was first
so
for
you
a
can
while.
contain Tony Pollard, you can contain Zeke Elliott. These are the three things that the Saints must do to win this game. Time of possession. They must win the time of possession against the Dallas Cowboys. They must hold the Dallas Cowboys to under 100 total yards rushing. And they must win the battle of turnovers and sacks. Don't forget that Dexter Lawrence is returning in this game as well.
Nice.
For the Dallas Cowboys. So that's going to be something to keep your eye on. New Orleans is 7th in the National Football League in interceptions. So I really think that the Saints are going to win all of those battles. Time of possession, keeping the run under 100 yards, turnovers and sacks.
That is a must. The Dallas Cowboys right now, they're 1-4 when they don't rush for 100 yards. So for me, you cannot allow Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard to come out here and do damage in the running game, because that needs to be the Saints formula, exactly like you're saying. You're going to have to keep Dak Prescott on the sidelines right now. One quick little nugget about Dak Prescott right now. Dak Prescott has 12 games with at least 375 yards passing. That's tied with Patrick Mahomes since 2016. Those are the two highest players right there with games of over 375 yards. The roadmap, I think Dak's going to have to pass the ball in this game for sure, but the Saints definitely got to find a way to stop that run.
Saints win. I'm going to take the Saints.
Saints win. Saints win.
Saints win.
Ooh, Saints win. The only way
Saints
the Saints win is if Marquez Callaway gets a touchdown in this one. He's having a good year, too. 6 touchdowns on the year, and I'm going to need a couple of sacks from your boy Cameron Jordan.
And we're playing in New Orleans in a night game.
But it's your boy at backup quarterback
the
that
second,
I'm worried about.
The second
and
line
no Kamara.
coming down. Second line
gonna be
coming
tough.
down like this.
Yeah, I feel you.
And Dallas not very good on Thursday night games.
Oh, is that true?
I'm going to go.
I remember you said that December thing, but man, people was trying to kill you for that one. Actually, Dak Prescott has a winning record in December, Beard. That's what we was getting in the chat vibe heavy.
Okay, I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints by a final score of. No, it's not true. It's true, Monique. I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints by a final score of.
It's true, Monique. It's like when you talk to your kids and they tell you something and you know you're wrong, but you're like, no, it's true. It's true, son.
24-23, the Saints beat the Cowboys tonight.
I love the score. I love the score. Cameron Jordan going to have to get a couple of sacks. He needs 1 sack to give him at least 5 in 10 straight seasons. We need that guy. I need a consistent guy that gets to the quarterback like that.
Yeah.
Am I going to go Saints with you?
Oh, win the Saints. Oh, win the Saints.
Nah, man. Bounce back game for the Cowboys. They was expected to beat the Raiders.
Saints.
Dak Prescott almost did it last week. 32 of 47 in that game for 375 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I got the Cowboys winning this one.
Lucas got the Beard winning this long snap competition, though.
Okay.
Oh, win the Saints.
Okay.
Oh, win the Saints.
All right.
Oh, when the Saints come marching in.
Here we go. As soon as you get down to the end of the episodes, the Beard start lunching. About to pull out some medals. But it is 8:25, man. You say you got Cowboys. You say you got the Saints. I say I got the Cowboys. I'm going to say it's going to be, I think the Cowboys are going to win this one convincing. I'm going to go 28-17. Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, it could quite possibly be an absolute abolishment of the New Orleans Saints tonight. But
Michael Gallup, that's who I think is going to be the one to ball out in this game.
I just got a feeling, man.
I like when you have those feelings, though. We need that. We need that feeling to keep all our hopes alive in the NFC playoff situation here. And I want to go over one thing because Dak Prescott has definitely been struggling for the past 4 games. I wanted to pull up this graphic that I had of Dak Prescott real quick. This is Dak Prescott in the last couple games here. It's not looking that good here, okay?
6 touchdowns, 3 picks.
You know, which I know Giants fans, Daniel Jones, we would take these numbers all day long. Y'all know that. We would take these numbers to the bank. But these numbers they're not that great for Dak Prescott. You look against the Denver Broncos where they got blown out, but the 48 completion percentage, that's not that good right there. And look at these games of under 300 passing yards for Dak Prescott. That's really not in his range. You know what I'm saying? He's a guy that normally puts up big numbers. Per attempt, you look at that one against the Kansas City Chiefs, that's not good. Denver Broncos, 5.9 against them, that's not that good. You know, touchdown-wise, he really struggled against the Chiefs completely where he didn't throw any touchdowns in that game. That was a very defensive game by the Chiefs and by the Cowboys. They were still kind of in that game a little bit, though. So Dak Prescott, I'd look for him to just bounce back in a major, major, major way tonight. Give me the Cowboys in this game, man. And I don't know, maybe somebody in the chat could tell us who won the coin toss because they should be right there right now.
And I want to know if they call it tails or heads.
Not that great for Dak. Definitely right there with you, Monique. So, listen, y'all enjoy y'all Thursday night football. I know I'm going to enjoy my Thursday night football. I always tell the Beard before we go live on Thursdays, I kind of forget that we got football on Thursday night. And it's a great look to start the week off early like this, man. And we're starting off with an NFC East game. Cross your fingers that them Dallas Cowboys could take an L today. I don't think it's realistic, but we'll see. We will see, man. We will see. Let's get some biceps in the chat one time before we get up out of here. You know what it is, man. Left side.
Strong side.
Beard, any other last thoughts before we get them up out of here to let them go watch their Thursday night football matchup between the Cowboys and the New Orleans Saints?
Nah, with nothing. We really appreciate everybody as always. You guys know we wouldn't be able to do this without you. Keep those eyes and ears peeled, though, between now and Sunday.
I kind of like this idea from Monique here. He should start at 6 o'clock on Thursdays. I might have to change up the schedule here. We've been doing 7 o'clock for about 2 years straight, but that might be a good idea. Give us a little bit more time to break these down, man. Man, I see Mad Squad in the building. Mad Day One's in the building. Mr. Mini Guy in the building one time. Roman is in the building. Sabrina's in the building. My man J Mo is in the building one time. He'll figure out what that is in a couple of years. No Mets, no Nets, no Jets in the building one time. Kevin is in the building, man. Y'all enjoy y'all Thursday night. We will see y'all Sunday morning for the parlay at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and maybe we could switch up a couple of picks. Cross your fingers, like I said, that them Dallas Cowboys take the L today. Monique, I'll keep it funky with you. I do wish you luck in this game. I don't like to see our fam see their team lose, but it is what it is. For me, it's a win-win tonight. Cowboys win. Hey, Saints, knock them off a little bit. Cowboys lose. Y'all know what it is. NFC East loves it when the Cowboys lose. So y'all be good, man. Raise that bar. Keep living those dreams, even if it is a playoff dream for my New York Giants. We will catch y'all on Sunday on the parlay. Peace.
Peace.